Welcome to the red half of Sheffield Championship predictions 1 through 24. Another season is on the horizon, and Chad and I are here to break down our picks from those who are relegated all the way up to those who are promoted and the champions of the championship for the 25-26 season. It's going to be, I think, an exciting year in the championship. I do think that it's going to be a lot tighter in some areas this year than it was last year. So, Chad and I will break it down for you. And we've got our handy dandy tier maker here, and hopefully it's not too small and all of you will be able to see it. But we will start with the relegated sides, and there is only one choice for 24, and it is our noisy neighbors. To the north, it is Sheffield Wednesday. I have them going down. They've got only 5 senior players, and they're going to have to play with youth talent. They've got an unproven manager in Henrik Peterson. He's never coached in the English game, and they look a little bit doomed before a ball's even been kicked. Is that your assessment as well, Chad?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the unanimous one across the board. Um, it's kind of unfortunate. You know, it, right now, as we're recording, we don't know if they're going to be, if there's more sanctions. They're going to drop points, start on negative points, so on and so forth to get him out of it. It's just, I mean, it's just one of those deals where the odds are stacked against them, unfortunately, and they have absolutely no way of getting out of it. I hope they're able to at some point turn it and get it all sorted out because we don't need another team to go. But as of time of recording here, beginning of August 25, yeah, there's no chance they stay up right
I
now.
hope I hope they drop in a league too, but that's just my humble opinion there. Look, we've talked about this on our podcast. We've talked about this with several other individuals. I don't want to see them, effectively buried, um, to use
Hmm.
the a turn of phrase. I don't know if I want to see them have to start Sheffield Wednesday AFC and start off in the 10th division of English football, playing in a park or whatever. Um, but at the same time, I can't help but smile a little bit at their misfortune. Um, you know, it, it is what it is, and I do think that they are relatively doomed at this point. If they can get a sale from Defon Chansiri to another owner, I think maybe they'll have a chance of not finishing 24th. I'm not even saying not getting relegated because I just think they're going to struggle to even bring anybody in. But at this point, yeah, easiest call you can make, mark it down, 100% Sheffield Wednesday to get relegated this season. So for you, Chad, in 23rd, who did you have?
I had Hull City. I had the Tigers of Hull City.
Okay. And you see, I had Preston North End in 23rd. Give your reasoning first why you think Hull City will be relegated this season.
I just think they are in a bit of kind of limbo in the back channels of Hull. Yes, you bring in the signings of McBurney, and you know the players you bring in are decent, but they're aging players as well. And I just don't. They bring in an unproven manager that from Europe after for some ungodly reasoning sacking Ruben says to me it doesn't really make any sense why they did it, and they bring in the manager from Europe, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? And the ownership came in a couple years ago with the the mindset of get this team out of this division and get it into the Premier League where it had been for so many years. And that unfortunately hasn't happened. It's kind of almost reverse course, and it seems like they're in a tailspin. I just don't think they have enough over 46 games to keep themselves out of it. Now, granted, they could. Something could change in the span of 46 games to keep them out of the relegation zone. I just don't see it. I just think they're going to be Wednesday. You're going to be dragging down the division. And I don't think Hull are going to be too far behind them, honestly.
Well, I mean, Sergej Jakirovic is the new manager's name. I mean, yeah, you're right, Chad. He's completely unproven. They're under an embargo. That being said, I do think they've made some pretty astute signings. I think Ryan Giles is a good signing for them. I do think Akin Femwo is a decent signing for them as well from Wednesday. They just kind of have to hope they hold on to Charlie Hughes. I think if they don't hold on to Charlie Hughes, I do think they're going to be in some trouble. But
Yeah.
that remains to be seen. I mean, there have been several clubs that have been interested in that player. So if they can do that, then yeah, I do think that they'll be close. Um, I do think that Hull will finish outside of the relegation zone personally, but I'm willing to entertain that. And as you'll see, these will fluctuate a little bit as we kind of give each other. We're going to merge our predictions here into one. I have Preston North End at 23rd. I just think Paul Heckingbottom hasn't improved the side at all. Some free transfers in there as well. Thierry Small from Charlton, Daniel Iverson from Leicester, but they look weaker. They from the day that they were almost relegated last season. Emil Reese has gone to Bristol City. Ryan Leeson has gone to Huddersfield, as has Jack Whatmo. And they've lost Ryan Porteous, Kane Kessler Hayden. They've gone back to their parent clubs. So they need to do some impressive business this window, I think, to have a prayer of staying up. Is that kind of your assessment as well?
Yeah, and you already had Heckingbottom take a shot at the board early in the transfer window and saying that, he preferably had to blow the squad up and rebuild it from, the ground up kind of because it was a team that basically avoided relegation, you know, on the last day of the season last year. Yes, an FA Cup quarterfinal kind of kind of smoothed it over a little bit and the worrying of relegation wasn't really there. But yeah, they haven't improved the side. A lot of big names that were synonymous with Preston over the last handful of years aren't there anymore. And it's just a lot of new faces to replace old faces. And, you know, is Hecky the man to get him to gel over a 46 game schedule? Maybe, but they're definitely lacking in some areas. You just don't know. 46 odd games is so long of an arduous season. He could find lightning in the bottle. You could be talking about Preston finishing sixth. Who knows? But it's just how we're feeling going into this season. It just doesn't, for me, it just doesn't feel good. I mean, there'll be, if this is the bottom three, Preston will be closer to staying up than they will to Hull and Wednesday, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a considerable gap.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree with everything you said. All right, let's keep it moving because if we're not careful here, this is going to be an hour and a half long video. So in 22nd, I have Charlton Athletic. Again, I'm willing to negotiate on this a little bit with you. The question is can Nathan Jones do it? So, they had an impressive season in League One last year, winning the playoff final. I think these will be like the closest to staying up, probably like on the final day, personally, but maybe not enough to get them over the hump. You obviously think that they will get over the hump at this point. So I'm definitely willing to hear your arguments. They've made some astute signings: Amari Bell, Charlie Kellman from QPR, Rob Apter from Blackpool. Um, I just think they'll fail a little bit. I do think they'll have a difficult time winning on the road.
Yeah, I really like the Charlie Kelman signing because, albeit he's unproven at this level, they did take a flyer. Um, he did take League One by a storm. I don't know why I was going to say associated with Charlton last year. He did take League One by the seat of its pants, and he did the same thing in League Two as well. So now I get it. I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. What's to say he doesn't take the championship by storm? And I think
It's a
they've
massive step
kept
up.
they've I don't think it's that much of a step up as it is from championship to Premier League.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where their team for the most part has stayed intact, and they got over the line and uh were able to get promoted via the playoffs. I just think Nathan Jones is a good manager. He's done it. He's finally done it at a team other than Luton. So I mean, he's one for the theatrics and the cameras. I think he's just got enough to keep him up.
All right. I'm willing to hear that, and I'm willing to place Charlton staying up. Next up on, at least from my list, I have Oxford United. I think they're going to be right on the cusp, but I have trouble doubting Gary Rowett will get the team over the line. Probably like within the last couple of games, I think he'll get him over the line. Will Lancashire, that's a name Unitedites should be very familiar with. He's joined on loan from Tottenham. It's a good signing. Nick Prelic, forward, has come in from Caligari. Luke Harris is also joined on loan. I just think they need to do a little bit more business before the window closes to kind of give them that push to solidly stay up.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Oxford is you have to circle the manager and say, can Gary Rowett get it? If he gets it rolling right, they could finish, I don't know, mid-table. I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of shooting for the stars. But if he gets it wrong, they could be in here. They could this all could be a big dog fight in and around. Like I said, Preston's going to be closest to the the drop points wise. But you look at Oxford, Charlton, Stoke, teams in and around there, they're all going to be so bunched up. It's just going to be like the end of last season.
Yep. So for 20th, we'll go back to the screen here. I have Watford. And I personally don't think that they'll do well this year. I mean, they have another new manager, surprise, surprise, in Paolo Pezzolano. They've made a few additions, Nestroy Irankunda and Othmane Mama from Bayern Munich and Montpellier, respectively. They're both super young. They've also added Nathan Baxter and Mark Bola, and the Pozzo owners have done some business to bring in Udinese players as well. They're both owned, by that conglomerate group. So I don't think their business is done yet, but I do think they're going to struggle. And I do think that Paolo Pezzolano is going to be one of the first managers sacked this season from the championship.
It's the uncertainty of them if they do bring in a few more players, which they're rumored to do later in the window. This could skyrocket a team to maybe as high as 11th or 10th. But law of averages for me, I think I had them 15th, so I didn't have them too far away from where we have them now. So I mean, it's how you improve your squad over the last 3 weeks before the window shuts, and what you have could I sound like Captain Obvious, will ultimately determine where they finish.
Yeah, definitely. So in 19th, I have Stoke City. Who did you have in 19th?
19th, I had Portsmouth.
Or you,
Portsmouth.
you had Pompey. I'm going to make an argument that they should be a little bit higher um, than that, but not too much. I just think this year is going to be another really drab year for Stoke. They haven't finished in the top 12 since they've been back in the championship, and that's been like 7 or 8 years now. And I predict this year is going to be no different. I don't rate Mark Robbins as a championship manager, and I just think that they haven't done the business that they need to make any sort of push to even be mid-table, solidly mid-table.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Robbins kind of killed his career when he went to Stoke, and then they just have done the Stokiest of Stoke things and just haven't improved. So I mean, I think I had them 21st. So I mean, yes, in and around the same places. So yeah, this eight is all tough to call. You can just you could throw it at the window or throw it at the wall and see if it sticks or not.
Yeah. In 18th, I had Whole City. I just think that the business, like I said, the business that they've done is gonna be enough to get them like comfortably safe on the final day. But who did you have for 18th?
I had America's team, Wrexham.
Oh,
I just think that okay, they've brought in signings, they've brought on players that are past it. I mean, when you're gonna take the 3 years left on Kiefer Moore's deal, and he's 33 years old. Trying to catch lightning in a bottle a little bit. I just and then I think this is the year that Wrexham finally, struggle. And I hope they don't because they're going to be
brings
broadcast
more
on
eyes.
TV. Is
Yeah,
going to they're going to be on every game over here.
yeah.
I just
Yep.
hope they don't struggle. Like the reason why they're going to struggle is because they're bringing older players. Yes, they can probably still do it on a day to day basis in the championship. So Parkinson's going to end up losing his job, is what I'm saying. And then they're going to go and get the flashy manager that they want to probably round out this season, not be in any danger, quote unquote. And then they just do enough to stay up. And then they get the big manager and they go again and they give it a run next year because they're not going to be with so much money in this. I just don't know if they're going to be able to compete this year.
I think they've made some good signings. Lewis O'Brien's a good signing. Connor Cody, Big Kifa, George Thomason, Danny Ward, and Josh Windass. I mean, those are some good, like those are some decent signings at this level. So I think they're going to finish a little higher than what you said. I think they're going to finish 15th, but I'm happy to drop them down to 16th or 17th.
Yeah.
So in 16th, I had Middlesbrough. I do think it's going to be a massive drop for them personally. I think they've done next to no business and they've lost a lot of talent. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're looking right now to bring an American left winger and Max Arfston. We'll see if that like materializes, but I think losing Josh Coburn was massive for them.
I just think with Michael Carrick going out the door, the just it feels like a ship without a just kind of marauding out there, just kind of floating out there, and not they won't be in any danger, but they're just not good. It's almost like this season might be a reset for Middlesbrough because you know they were on the cusp a couple of years ago, just never got over that hump. And it's almost similar to the last time before they got promoted the last time to the Premier League. They struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled and never could get there. And then they went through a reset and then they came up. So maybe this is the season where Middlesbrough do the reset, and then they go on the next couple of seasons and really push for that promotion race.
As they call it, the rebuilding year for
Mm-hmm.
for Borough. Who did you have in 16th for 16th?
16th, I had Charlton, as I mentioned.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just think they're gonna exceed expectations this
Okay.
year. I think I really do.
Well, I think between me having them relegated and you having them 16th, I think that evens out to basically like 20th or 21st where we have them.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, for 15th, I already said I had Wrexham. What about for 14th for you?
14th, I had Swansea, who are getting in the let's be Bristol City and Preston territory. Swansea are one of those teams that you don't know what you're going to get.
Yep.
And so it was
This
probably the easiest one for me to make that I just feel like they're going to be average, but something in the back of my head says watch out for them. They may make a late push
yeah.
for, a 10th place finish, a ninth place finish, something like that.
I have them in 11th. I think that they've got enough on the books for a solid mid-table finish. They brought in Zidane Inusa. I can't pronounce that name. As well as Cameron Burgess and Ricardo Santos on freeze, and Kellen Casey from West Ham. So it's some good business that they've done. I think it'll. I just think it won't be enough for them to make any sort of a playoff push. Like I can't see it for Swansea.
Mhm.
So I think between the two of us, like between 15th and 11th is probably pretty solid. Uh,
Mhm.
in 14th, I have Blackburn Rovers, and I just think it's going to be a drop off for them. They've had quite a lot of talent drained this offseason, ranking Costello, Tyrese Dolan, Danny Bath, Andreas Weimann, all leaving. And they, along with, like I said, Bora earlier, are just teams that I think that have kind of been perennially around the playoffs the last few years that are going to have a massive drop off this year.
Yeah, I had Blackburn in 13th. I also think Blackburn is a lot of people are kind of not writing them off in a sense, but saying, we don't know how Blackburn are going to be. Todd Cantwell, is he going to be a revitalized player? Is he going to play well? Is he going to be is he going to be an impact player for Blackburn and ultimately carry him up the leagues? I don't know. I mean, this is I looked at Blackburn the same way I looked at Swansea. I'll put them dead bang right in the middle of the table. They could be higher, they could be lower.
Yeah. Yep. And I think the same goes for Queens Park Rangers. Um, that's right about where I have them, is kind of dead bang in the middle. Is that your assessment as well, Chad?
I had QPR finishing in playoffs.
Wow.
I think QPR are going to be a sneaky. Um, they've done some decent business in the window, and I just think they might uh, they might surprise some people. That's why I have them so high.
I mean, do you think
And
Kwame Poko is that good of a signing?
it's I looked at it when I made this list. Everybody, if you go by every talking head, they're going to have all the big teams in there. There's a couple of outliers that have QPR in and around the playoffs. It's like, you never know. And plus, QPR have been away from the playoffs in a really long time.
Yeah, they have.
So
They have. What about 12th for you, Chad?
12th, I have as average can get. The team we play on opening weekend, and a team that I think will regress. Now they might finish on a bit more points, just finish lower in the table. I just think Bristol City are 12th.
Yeah.
12th is 12th can get.
Yeah, I mean they've lost their manager in Liam Manning, who I think is a good manager, but I don't think they're going to have as good of a season. They just haven't done enough business for me in the transfer window so far. They've lost a couple of players, and yeah, I just think it's going to be another team that's going to like return to the mean.
Mm-hmm.
What? Who did you have in 11th? Or I should.
In double ones, I had Birmingham City.
Wow.
Uh,
So I had them finishing a lot higher. I'm going to vehemently disagree with you on Birmingham City. Maybe we should just move on to 10th, then, if that's the case.
10th, I had Millwall.
I had Millwall finishing a little bit higher. I had Millwall finishing 8th, but, we're just kind of packing out the teams that are going to finish outside of the playoffs. But I always want to put Millwall like in and around the playoffs because one of these seasons I'd just love to see them do it just because for the chaos it would cause.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't in good faith do that this season. I do like Alex Neil. I do think he's a good manager, and I do think that they've made some good signings in Josh Coburn and Massimo Luongo. Those are good signings, but the loss of Fleming, I mean, how is that going to hurt them?
Yeah. 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 It's tough to call with Millwall. I just made a pun there. But
Or a rhyme, even.
it's it's they're one of the ones that are weird that couple of good players and I, I feel like they're always there, but at the end of the season you look up and they're like 11th, 12th, and you're like, how the hell did that happen? They were like 7th with 4 games left and then just capitulate. And that's how I think this season's similar. They're going to be in and around the playoffs, and then about March they're gonna start to fade away. And they'll come in 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Yep. What about where did you have Derby County? Because I
Darby,
have them ninth.
I have them 9th as well. I just think they're getting things together at Derby, and it's good to see because a couple years ago in League One, didn't know if they were going to make it back. They made it back last season, survived the drop, and I think they've made a few signings that make them a solid outfit for this championship. And I think this is another team. I think this season might be the season of surprises
Yeah.
and teams you
I
didn't see coming.
I absolutely agree with that. I think that Derby are my wild card team this season. I really like some of the business that they've done. They brought in Rian Brewster Baby, Andreas Weimann, Danny Math. They've been loaned Bobby Clark, Sanderson, and Owen Beck, and David Ozo. All really good business, and I do think that John Eustace is a good manager. So, yeah, I foresee them having a very good season, pushing for the playoffs, but maybe just not getting right there. What about where did you have West Brom?
West Brom I had 4th.
Oh wow.
I had West Brom up 4th. I think
Uh,
this
I
is
have. Go ahead.
go on. I just think this is a year that West Brom's getting it right. They're kind of flying a little bit under the radar. Not many people are talking about them, and less theatrics and drama seems like going on behind the scenes. I think this might be a really good season for West Brom.
Well, I mean, so they brought in Nat Phillips from Liverpool, George Campbell from FC Montreal. Um, I think they'll do if they do decent business, then they could finish higher. I can't, in good faith, put them any higher than 7th, though. I don't think they finish in the playoffs. Um, I'm willing to hear further arguments, Chad.
No, if you want to put
But
him 7th, if you want to put him
yeah,
7th, you can put him 7th.
yeah, I'm gonna put them in 7th. All right, so we are finally to the top. No, we have one more. In seventh, I actually had Norwich to finish just outside the playoffs. Where did you have Norwich?
I had Norwich finishing 8th.
Okay. So we're in agreement. Norwich to finish outside of the playoffs. Again, Liam Manning's a good manager. I just think the losses they have incurred are going to just see them outside of the playoffs. I mean, Jonathan Rowe and Borja Sainz going out. I think those are two big losses. If they lose Josh Sargent, they're definitely going to finish outside the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about how they react and who they bring in through the window if Sargent does go out the window, because they'll get a hefty price tag for him. So they
Yeah.
should be able to reinvest that in the squad.
But I don't think they're going to get the same output from whoever they reinvest in. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
true.
I think a healthy Josh Sargent is one of the best in the league. At least the goal scoring,
Yeah, but and that was that's the one bugaboo with Josh Sargent, and he hasn't been exactly healthy over the last few
That's very
years.
true. Very, very true. All right. So in sixth place and to finish in the playoffs, who did you have?
QPR.
Yeah. Um, Again, I don't see it. I had Coventry. I will now hear your argument for QPR. Like, do you think we should move QPR into the playoffs?
No, I mean, I just think I think QPR is going to be one that just pops up out of nowhere, and it may be a late charge into the playoffs. I don't know. There's something that is different this year at QPR than years in the past, and I took a flyer on and picked him 6th.
They're your wild card this season.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm going to slot Coventry in at sixth. I just think they're the perennial bridesmaid in the playoffs, like the last few years. But perhaps this could be their year. I mean, they haven't made a lot of signings, but they haven't lost a lot of players either. King Kessler Hayden arrives from Villa, Carl Rushworth on loan from Brighton Hove Albion, and they've only lost Lewis Binks. So they kept their core, and if they don't lose anyone else this window, I can't see a different finish from last season, which was playoffs.
Hmm. Yeah, very true.
Who did you have in fifth?
The Blades, dim blades.
I also have Dem Blades, and I mean we talk about United regularly on our podcast, but for those of you who are likely tuning in to just hear two idiot Americans talk EFL Championship football, it's our position this season is going to be all predicated on if Ruben Sayas can get this system working, if he can get that buy-in from the players. But we're looking super weak in certain positions, most notably at center back. We just lost Anel Ahmed Hadzic. We just lost Vinny Souza. We look to have replaced Vinny Souza with Dijed Samari. I'm sorry, Dijibril Samari. I don't know why I said Dijed. And we've also added Louis Barry and Tyler Binden on loan. But I really think that a lot of this season could hinge on how these AI signings do work out for Sheffield United. Between Caceres, Ukaki, if one of them hits and starts doing really well, this could be a phenomenal season for Sheffield United. That being said, I don't think we're going to have enough to pip automatics this season. I don't even think we'll really be challenging for automatics. I think we'll be comfortably in the playoffs, and it won't come down to the final day. But by the same token, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near even challenging for automatic promotion this season.
I think it's closer than I think this comes down to the last day. And I
Really,
can see a situation where Sheffield United miss out on playoffs.
I could see that too.
I just don't. I just don't. There's not very much. They're one of the teams too where it's nobody's really talking about them, about making headlines or whatnot. And I think they're just kind of cruising along. And if it gets a little bumpy, they might drop a few games towards the end of last season or this season, like they did last season, and it might knock them out of the playoffs.
In fourth, I have Birmingham. Could they do the double promotion? I think they'll make a serious push for it, honestly. I mean, like most have them in the top six. You don't actually, I don't, did you say you had them in the top six? No, you had them finishing
No,
outside of the top six.
yeah, I
Wow.
had them finishing 11th. I just
I mean,
I'm not buying the hype of all these players they're bringing in.
no.
I just
As a Werder Bremen like supporter on a like they're my Bundesliga time. I do rate Marvin Duksch. I think he is a really really good player. And Taylor Gardner Hickman, that's a good signing. Tommy Doyle's a good signing. Cashin's a good signing. Beadle, I think it will do a job for that. He'll have definitively a better back line in front of him this season than he did last season. I don't think he'll be left for dead, you know, Beadle. So
I just I just want these teams to know that when they come into this division and think they can throw all this money around, you're getting into the place now where you're getting into teams that have had Premier League money and they've got borderline Premier League teams and players. So it's not just a stroll in the park. Yeah, Ipswich caught it right. Birmingham might catch it right. I might be completely off, but I just don't see it. I think they're going to get brought back down. Them also, like Wrexham, are going to take it a minute to get. There's a lot of new faces in there from where they were last year. I think they might take a season to get acclimated to this league and then push on.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. So just missing out on autos, I have Leicester City. You had them. Where did you have Leicester finishing?
I have Leicester winning the whole entire thing.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Uh, even that, like, what about a points deduction? Is
I
that not
still
a worry?
think I still think they're gonna. I mean, if it's like a 12-point deduction, yeah, that probably knocks them down, knocks some fire out of them. But if they get a 6 point, I still think they win it. Th- They have the best team in the league, in my opinion, by a good margin.
On paper, they
Uh,
have the best team.
yeah, so I don't think it should be a problem. Any points deduction, just maybe knocks them into the playoffs instead of automatic promotion.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that being said, I do think I think they'll finish on the second highest accumulated points, but I think that the points deduction will be enough to keep them out of automatic promotion whenever it's handed down. Who knows when it's going to be handed down?
Yeah.
Um, and then in second place, I had Southampton. I think you said that they were gonna return to the mean. Basically, you didn't did you have them in the playoffs, Southampton?
I had him seventh. Nope, I had him seventh.
Yeah. You don't rate Will Still as a manager though.
Yeah, unproven. Um, all the hype, and I haven't seen anything done. Yes, he's coached different places before, but he's never really coached with a team of this much talent. As I mentioned earlier, teams with this much talent coming down from the Premier League, they have this much talent. This should be almost a shoe, and it's almost kind of like it should be easy, but I don't know if with all the pressure he can do it. I just don't know. I don't know anything about him. He's unproven. All these talking heads say he's the greatest manager in the history of the world, and there's no one ever. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. What about the signings that they've made?
you shouldn't have. They shouldn't have had make many signings because hell, we sent him BBD back. Is he going to play an influential part in their side this season? I don't know. I haven't paid much attention to Southampton over this preseason. I don't know how they've got on.
Yeah.
Is he is he installing a new system after they got Russell Martin out, and then just that kind of patchwork manager coming down in the Premier League, and then Will Steele's going to want to bring everything brand new in there. I don't know. It's a lot of moving pieces.
Well, we will see how it plays out. But that means that I have Ipswich finishing champions. I don't think that's going to surprise a lot of people. Most people I know have Ipswich as champions. I just think they built this team, as many others have said, with the express purpose of getting relegated and then going right back up,
Yeah.
and then adding some more talent. I am predicting another 100-point season this season.
Mm.
So, I mean, we'll see if that actually happens. But I do think that they're going to be very, very good. I mean, they fetched a king's ransom for Liam Delop, and so reinvesting that, I think they're going to be sound. I do think they're going to really, really be sound this season.
Yeah, in if you look at them in Leicester on paper, I'd shade it a little bit towards Leicester, like I mentioned, with the better team on paper. This is where the points deduction might come in to effect, where it might, if it's 6-12 points, that might just basically give it to Ipswich. I don't know. We got to Leicester when it all comes out.
Well, we will see. I lost you there for a second, right there at the end. But let's look one more time at our table here. And obviously this is not an exact science. If you think your team is in a false position, let us know in the comments. Comment down below where what you think the table is going to look like. Definitely want to hear that from y'all. Tell us if we're idiots. We probably are, but we hope that you enjoyed our predictions here. And if you're interested in our podcast, definitely follow us. We're at Red Sheffield on Twitter and Blue Sky as well. And we are on Facebook at the Red Half of Sheffield. And Chad, where can the people find you on social media?
C Jarvis _13
On
on
all
everything.
social media. Yep. And you can follow me, Noah Snyder, at Sunpuck on Instagram and at Nessman930 on Twitter X and Blue Sky. So the championship season starts tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I'll leave you
Yep.
with Up the Blades.
Up the blades.